You've seen machines do incredible things, but these workers, they make machines look slow. Every one of these clips is real. No CGI, no time-lapse tricks, no camera edits. Just human hands, raw skill, and the kind of precision that takes years to develop. From lifting sunken concrete with expanding foam to erecting entire house pillars with nothing but rope. These are construction pros, tradespeople, and artisans whose abilities look like straight-up superpowers. And every single one of them earned it the hard way. Clip 1. Power washing concrete into submission. You know that stubborn concrete splatter that clings to surfaces like it owns the place? This worker doesn't negotiate. He blasts it clean with a pressure washer, peeling off layers of dried concrete like it's tissue paper. The trick isn't just power, it's angle. Hold the nozzle too close and you gouge the surface underneath. Too far, and nothing happens. He's found the sweet spot. Close enough to strip concrete, gentle enough to leave everything else untouched. It's the kind of precision that turns a brute force tool into a surgical instrument. Clip 2. The symphony, when teamwork becomes music. Watch this crew pass materials hand to hand, and you'll swear they rehearsed it. Buckets, mortar, bricks, everything flows in a rhythm so tight it looks choreographed. Nobody hesitates, nobody fumbles, nobody breaks the chain. Each worker knows exactly when the next handoff is coming. Not because someone's counting, but because they've done this together so many times their bodies just know. This isn't teamwork. This is a symphony. And the building going up behind them, that's the music. Clip 3. Polyurethane foam that lifts concrete like magic. This one looks like a magic trick. A sunken concrete foundation, cracked, uneven, sinking into the earth, starts rising. No crane, no jack, just polyurethane foam injected through tiny holes drilled into the slab. The foam expands underneath, fills every void, compacts the soil, and pushes the concrete back to level. The whole process takes hours, not days, and the repaired surface can handle traffic almost immediately. What used to require digging up an entire foundation now takes a foam gun and a guy who knows exactly where to drill. Engineering doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like a slab quietly rising back into place. Clip 4. Bucket brigade to the second floor. No crane, no conveyor belt, no elevator. Just a team of workers passing buckets of mortar from ground level to the second floor in perfect rhythm. Every toss is the same arc. Every catch is the same grip. One mistimed throw and wet mortar goes everywhere. On the scaffolding, on the workers, on the ground. But these guys don't miss. They've turned a job that should require heavy machinery into a human assembly line that moves faster than most mechanical alternatives. Sometimes the oldest method is still the best one. Clip 5. One man, one bucket, zero problems. While his teammates are hauling materials in groups, this guy grabs a single bucket and moves through the site like he's carrying a cup of coffee. Full bucket of mortar, uneven terrain, narrow pathways, doesn't matter. He navigates it all with the kind of ease that only comes from doing this every single day for years. It's not strength, it's balance, timing, and knowing exactly how your body moves under load. He makes heavy look weightless. Clip 6. Building a 3-layer oven by hand. This man isn't just stacking bricks, he's engineering a 3-layer oven from scratch. Each layer serves a different purpose: combustion, heat distribution, and cooking surface. The spacing between layers has to be exact. Too tight and the airflow chokes. Too loose and the heat dissipates before it reaches the top. He's building it without blueprints, without measuring tools, just years of experience telling his hands where every brick needs to go. When he's done, this thing will cook food evenly using nothing but firewood and physics. Clip 7. Riding a roller down the slope. Here's a guy who looked at a steep slope that needed smoothing and thought, why walk when I can ride? He sits on a heavy roller and lets gravity do the work, guiding it down the incline while his weight adds extra compression to the surface. It's equal parts genius and gutsy. One wrong shift in balance and he's tumbling down the hill with the roller. But he rides it like a surfboard, smooth, controlled, perfectly balanced. The slope comes out flat and even. The man comes out grinning. Clip 8. Erecting house pillars with nothing but rope. No crane, no hydraulic lift, no mechanical advantage whatsoever except rope. A group of workers ties ropes to a massive house pillar lying flat on the ground, coordinates their pull, and raises it to vertical in one synchronized motion. The physics are brutal. The pillar weighs hundreds of pounds. The angle of pull has to be precise. Too steep, and the base kicks out. Too shallow, and the pillar won't clear vertical. Every man on every rope has to pull with the same force at the same moment. One person out of sync, and the whole thing comes crashing down. They nail it. Every time. Clip 9. Wood trim cleanup. Surgical precision. After the heavy construction is done, someone has to clean up the details. This worker uses a piece of wood to scrape and clean excess material from joints, edges, and clips with the kind of precision you'd expect from a surgeon. No power tools, no sandpaper, just a flat piece of wood and hands that know exactly how much pressure to apply. Too much and you damage the surface. Too little and the mess stays. He gets it perfect. Every edge crisp, every joint clean. Clip 10. Landscaping that looks like art. Landscaping isn't just about planting things and hoping they grow. This craftsman is shaping terrain, laying stone, and arranging greenery with an artist's eye. Every stone placement is deliberate. Every curve in the pathway is intentional. The finished result doesn't look like someone built it. It looks like it grew there naturally. That's the highest level of landscaping, when the human touch becomes invisible and nature gets all the credit. Clip 11. Riding a lift to deliver mortar. Transporting mortar to upper floors is back-breaking work, unless you're this guy. He loads up a platform lift, rides it to the working level, and delivers materials without breaking a sweat. But the skill isn't in riding the lift, it's in loading it. The weight has to be balanced perfectly, or the lift tilts. The mortar can't slosh over the sides, or you lose half your load. He loads it, rides it, and delivers it like he's taking an elevator to his office. Calm, efficient, professional. Clip 12. The umbrella hack, working smart under the sun. When you're working outdoors in brutal heat, shade isn't a luxury, it's survival. This worker rigs an umbrella to shield himself from direct sunlight while keeping both hands free to work. It's a simple hack that most people wouldn't think of, and it makes a huge difference. Heat stroke doesn't care how skilled you are. This guy protects himself and keeps producing. That's not laziness, that's intelligence. Clip 13. Cold weather mortar, beating the freeze. Mortar and cold weather are enemies. When temperatures drop, mortar can freeze before it cures, destroying the bond and leaving you with a wall that crumbles at the first touch. This worker knows the tricks, keeping materials warm, adjusting the mix, timing the application so it sets before the cold winds. It's a race against thermodynamics, and he's winning. The wall goes up solid, even as the temperature tries to tear it down. Clip 14. Heat-fusing plastic pipes. No glue, no leaks. Forget glue, forget clamps. This worker joins plastic pipes by heating them until the ends soften, then pressing them together so they fuse into one continuous piece. The temperature has to be precise. Too cool and the bond is weak. Too hot and the plastic deforms. The timing window is seconds. He heats, aligns, presses, and holds. And when it cools, those two pipes are one. No joint, no seam, no leak point. Just one solid pipe that'll carry water for decades. Clip 15. Threading the needle, driving through a concrete pillar gap. The gap between these concrete pillars looks barely wide enough for a bicycle, let alone a vehicle. But this driver threads through it without a scratch. Inches of clearance on both sides. No spotter, no guide rails, just spatial awareness so sharp it borders on supernatural. One twitch of the steering wheel, and it's a collision. He doesn't twitch. He glides through like the pillars aren't even there. Clip 16. The excavator shortcut. Why do 10 minutes of manual labor when an excavator can do it in 30 seconds? This worker uses the machine's arm to speed up a task that would have taken a crew with shovels half the morning. But using an excavator for precision work isn't just about power. It's about finesse. Those hydraulic arms can crush a car, but in this guy's hands, they move with the delicacy of a surgeon's fingers, fast and precise. That's mastery. Clip 17. Driving stakes like a human pile driver. Stakes need to go into the ground straight, deep, and fast. This worker drives them in with a rhythm that makes it look effortless, but every strike has to land square on the top of the stake. Off-center and the stake bends. Too light and it barely moves. Too hard and it splits. He hits the sweet spot every single time. Same force, same angle, same result. The stakes go in like they're being pulled from below. Clip 18. Glass meets brick. A wall that glows. This wall isn't just functional, it's beautiful. By alternating regular bricks with glass bricks, this worker creates a structure that's solid enough to bear load, but lets natural light pour through in glowing patches. Glass bricks diffuse sunlight, reduce glare, and add an architectural detail that turns a plain wall into a design feature. But installing them alongside standard bricks requires precision. Glass bricks are heavier, more fragile, and less forgiving of uneven mortar. He handles both materials like they're the same. They're not. Clip 19. Thatching a roof, the old-fashioned way. Thatched roofs have been keeping people dry for thousands of years, and this craftsman is proof the technique hasn't lost a step. He layers dried vegetation in overlapping rows, working from the eaves up to the ridge, creating a natural waterproof barrier that also insulates against heat and cold. A well-thatched roof can last 20 to 40 years, but every bundle has to be placed at the right angle with the right tension. Too loose and water gets in, too tight and the material cracks. He finds the balance on every single bundle. Clip 20. Faux stone wall. No mold, no template, all skill. Hard to believe this isn't real stone, because it's not. It's plaster, sculpted entirely by hand to look like a centuries-old stone wall. No mold, no precast template. Just a craftsman with a trowel carving texture, depth, and shadow into wet plaster before it sets. Real stone walls take weeks and cost thousands. This guy creates the same effect in a fraction of the time. And unless you walk up and touch it, you will never know it's not real. That's not construction. That's illusion. Clip 21. Speed drying with a machine. Wet surfaces slow everything down on a construction site. This worker uses a drying machine to accelerate the curing process, blasting warm air across freshly applied surfaces so the next phase of work can begin sooner. The key is even coverage. Blast one area too long and it cures unevenly. Miss a spot and you've got a weak point. He sweeps the machine across the surface in smooth, overlapping passes. Every square inch gets the same treatment. Clip 22. Backyard transformation, from dirt to stunning. A bare patch of dirt doesn't look like much, but in this worker's hands, it becomes a finished backyard with texture, pattern, and polish. He's applying and finishing a surface treatment that turns raw ground into something you'd actually want to walk on barefoot. The method is simple. The execution is anything but. Every pass of the tool has to be consistent, and the timing has to be perfect. Work too slow and the material sets before you're done. He doesn't work slow. Clip 23. Smoothing a concrete foundation. Mirror finish. A concrete foundation needs to be perfectly level, because everything built on top of it depends on that flatness. This worker is troweling fresh concrete with long, sweeping strokes that leave the surface smooth enough to reflect light. Every stroke overlaps the last. Every edge blends into the next. One bump, one ridge, one uneven patch, and the structure above will show it. He leaves nothing to chance. The foundation comes out flawless. Clip 24. Precision post placement. Putting a post in the right position sounds simple, until you realize that right means within millimeters. This team uses a specialized tool to guide posts into exact alignment. Plumb, level, and locked in place. One post off center and the entire fence line, or structure, drifts out of alignment. They check, adjust, lock, and move on. Every post is perfect, every time. Clip 25. 2 workers, 2 pipes, heavy concrete slabs. Here's the final trick, and it's beautiful in its simplicity. 2 workers need to move heavy concrete slabs across a site. No forklift, no dolly, just 2 metal pipes laid on the ground as rollers. They place the slab on the pipes, push, and the slab glides forward like it's on ice. As the slab rolls past the rear pipe, they pick it up and place it in front again. Rinse and repeat. It's the same principle the ancient Egyptians used to move stone blocks for the pyramids. And it still works, because physics doesn't expire. From the crew whose teamwork looks like a symphony, to the foam that lifts concrete like magic, to the craftsman who sculpts stone walls from nothing but plaster and imagination, these aren't just workers. They're proof that the human hand, trained long enough, can do things no machine can replicate. Hit like if the polyurethane foam lift blew your mind. Drop a comment. Which skill would you want to have? Subscribe so you never miss another video that makes you respect the people who build the world around you. And remember, the best construction work is the kind you never notice, because it's perfect.